We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City regular council meeting for today, which is March the 7th. Our invocation will be done by Reverend Geneth Rice Singleton. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If not, please correct me. Associate Pastor of the Douglasville First United Methodist Church, and after that, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by the Mayor Pro Tem. Please stand for the invocation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening to you all, and thank you for all that you do for the city of Douglasville. Let us pray. God, we thank you for the cross that your son Jesus bared for us. And so as we pause during this Lenten season, we want to thank our political leaders for all the crosses that they bear for each and every one of us, because we know, oh God, that it is not an easy job. And so we just want to let them know that we understand that they carry crosses also. Some there, God, that is difficult at times and when they just don't know what to do. But God, we just pray that you will continue to guide them and let them know, God, that you are walking with them on this journey. We thank you now for all that you do, and we can pray that God's grace will continue to cover you. In the mighty and majestic name of our Savior we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem, and we appreciate the invocation. Thank you so much for coming, Associate Pastor. I'd like to welcome you to the City of Douglasville City Council regular meeting. My name is Rochelle Robinson. I'm Mayor of the City of Douglasville. This meeting will go a little bit differently than our work session last week. It'll go a little faster, so I will just give us the opening remarks and protocol, and then we'll get into the meeting. So if you have any questions, hope I clear everything up in the introduction. This is a City Council regular meeting of agenda items where official action will be taken on the items tonight that were discussed last Thursday at the legislative work session. If the business you're here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda items comments from citizens and delegates for you to discuss your business. And I'll just tell you a little bit of protocol about that. I need to make you aware of when we start this meeting that if it is not listed on the agenda item and you want to come forward for citizens and delegates, please come to the microphone, give us your name and address for the record, and you'll have 5 minutes to talk to us about any business germane to the city of Douglasville. Only one person speaking at a time. Please do not react to speakers or speak from the audience or be disruptive. And if you have any printed material, I ask that you would please, if you would give that to our city clerk, Ms. Vicki Acker, to my right. She'll make copies and distribute it to the council members and myself. If you have a cell phone or electronic device, please put those in silent mode so they will not be disruptive during the meeting. And the agenda items will be handled in the following manner. The committee chairperson will read the agenda item. Then that person or applicant will come forward, present to myself and council members, and at that time we may ask questions to clear up if we have any other concerns or issues from last Thursday, or if it's new information, we'll ask some questions and you can respond to us then. After the committee chairperson will ask for comments from the audience. There's a maximum of 20 minutes for those in favor of the item and 20 minutes for those in opposition, and each person again has 5 minutes when you come to the microphone. When you come to the microphone or to the podium, there are cards that are out on the table that you should have filled out. If you fill those out and hand it to the city clerk, you come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record, and then we'll be able to hear from you, be happy to hear from you, and you have 5 minutes to talk. And there's only one opportunity per person. It's not a debate format or question and answer. We're just here to receive the information, deliberate, and make our decisions. And that is it. And those are the rules and the protocol, or how we're going to run the meeting tonight. So we'll move on then to our agenda. And if you need a printed agenda, they're outside on the desk. And if not, then you can follow on the screen. So the first committee is the minutes, and I will open the floor for minutes of the legislative work session of February 17th, 2022, and the regular meeting of February 21st, 2022. I'll open the floor for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you so much, Councilman Adams. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved in second to approve the minutes of the work session of February 17th and the regular meeting of February 21st, 2022. Do we have any corrections or concerns, additions, or anything from the council members? All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 22-095 is unanimously approved. I'll move on then to the consent agenda. I open the floor for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do we have any concerns or comments or any corrections to the consent agenda from the elected body? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda is unanimously approved. We'll move on then to the next committee, which is Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business at this time under the Economic Development Committee.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We'll move on then to Finance Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight under Finance.
Thank you, sir. Housing and Community Affairs Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Danley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under Housing and Community Affairs.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
At this time, Madam Mayor, no business tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilman Davis. We'll move on then to item number 11, Personnel and Organization Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight in Personnel and Organization.
Thank you, Coach. Planning and Development Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We
You're
have
welcome.
two items tonight, Planning and Development. Item A is hold a public hearing and consider a request for special land use permit for a medical laboratory on property zoned PUD, planned unit development being approximately 1.33 acres at 3150 Golf Ridge Boulevard, land lot 57, District 1, Section 5, Parcel 58. Parcel ID 00570150058. Application by E-Green Enterprises Incorporated, care of Edie Swaggart Green. Mr. Anderson.
Ryan Anderson, 6701 Church Street. We really don't have any new information. However, we did add a condition to the approval that the lease coincide. That the SLUP coincide with the lease.
Yes, sir. I have it in the reading here that I'll read as we make a motion.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Is there any new information that anyone would like to provide to us as a part of this application, this being a public hearing? We have held one public hearing on Thursday, but it is advertised as a public hearing, so if there's anyone here that would like to speak concerning it, please come forward. Give us your name and address for the record, either speaking for or against. Seeing none, then we'll close that portion of the public hearing. Do we have any comment or question that Madam Mayor or Council may have concerning this item? Okay, seeing none, then I will make a motion that we approve item 22-034 with this stipulation being that the special land use permit shall expire at the earlier of the expiration of E-Green Enterprises Incorporated's 10-year lease with its landlord, or when the current business owners of E-Green Enterprises cease to do business. That's my motion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion. Is there a second, please? Thank you so much, Councilman Watts. It's been properly moved in second by the chair of this committee, Councilmember Adams, and second by Councilmember Watts to approve item 22-034 with the stipulations as read by the chair. Do we have any additional comments or questions from council members? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 22-034 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Last item. Item B, hold a public hearing and consider a request for a variance to reduce the required 15-foot side setback in section 4.08B of the Unified Development Ordinance for a variance of 11 feet 6 inches for remaining requirement of 3 feet 6 inches on the northeast side of a lot 1.12 acres at the intersection of Highway 92 and Durley Lane. It's 5861 and 5871 Fairburn Road. Land lot 52, District 1, Section 5, parcels 2 and 12. parcel ID numbers 00520, 150012, and 00520, 150002. Application by Charlie Tarwater, care of Quick Trip Corporation. Mr. Anderson?
All right, Ryan Anderson, 6701 Church Street. Staff doesn't have any new information.
Okay, thank you, sir. I see that the applicant is here. Mr. Tarwater, do you have anything in new information that you would like to provide?
Good evening, Charlie Tarwater, 952 Old Peachtree Road, Northwest, Lawrenceville, Georgia. I have no new information to provide, but I am happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Okay, thank you, sir. I will ask the question, just if you would not mind reiterating, Mr. Tarwater, the purpose of the variance is basically to reduce a landscaping area. So the variance would reduce the landscaping area between, correct me if I'm wrong, between your left rear corner, if I'm standing in Fairburn Road looking at the site, and the hotel behind you. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, that is
Okay.
the spot.
So that would facilitate the traffic in and around the store, but it would take away from any landscape area between those two businesses.
That's correct, yes. That's really just to help traffic flow and the semis making those turns, dropping off the fuel.
Okay. Anyone else have any question or comment?
I do.
Madam Mayor, do you have, I couldn't see you. Do you have a question?
Yes, I just had
Go ahead.
a concern. A citizen brought up a concern about driveway egress, and did we cover that last week?
Well, I think the only thing that we covered was the fact that, and I don't recall if we specifically spoke of that. I remember, I believe I said that historically on the opposite side of Dearly Lane, there was also at one time a racetrack there that had a very similar entrance and exit situation onto Dearly. I think that, of course, we have the bus facility there that does now have access to a new red light on the Highway 92
Okay.
with a gate out of it. So if they allow that to be open and used, you would potentially reduce some of that traffic there.
Okay.
And I don't see it any differently than what the bank had there. It is what it is, and it's that far from their property line to the red light. There's not a lot that can be done there.
Okay.
Questions, comments, others? It being a public hearing, then we do need to give opportunity if there are anyone that would like to speak either for or against with new information.
Joe Fowler, Post Office Box 489, Douglasville. Good to see you again tonight, and thank you,
Good evening.
Charlie. He's been very helpful. He connected us with the QT engineer, and that person indicated that the drawings that we reviewed are conceptual at this point. However, he indicated that the anticipated design that he will produce will include the matters that I mentioned last week and that cause us concern. That is, he mentioned that the curbing along the east property line will be in place. Secondly, that there will be 2 surface drains adjacent to that curbing that will direct the flows into their on-site detention. And then thirdly, the 2 existing concrete flumes between our properties will be removed. We have no objection whatsoever to the requested variance, but we do request that its approval be subject to our client's right to comment on the actual engineering drawings concerning the stormwater when those plans are actually completed. We may have that opportunity anyway when the final development plan comes before you in several months. But either way, we would like a further opportunity to look at what is finally prepared to make sure the water flows are done as was represented. And that's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Fowler. A question concerning that then, and this would be a question for legal. Would we need to supply the concerned citizens, pertinent owners with these plans when we receive them for review, or would it be their responsibility to come in and have questions asked during the review period when it comes before us in a development plan?
Number one, the development plan will be done by the city engineer. Number two is I do not believe that other than when you are considering this application, you are to consider anything outside of what the factors of the UDO has set forth, and that does not include neighboring owners' legal rights.
So that was the reason for my question. I didn't know how we would be able to include your condition or your request, Mr. Fowler, without the your people, the people you're representing, to come to City Hall and review it or ask that they be given a copy of it. I don't know how we would be involved in that.
Well, you can certainly notify when you receive the final development plan, they can come up and review it. And of course, as Mr. Fowler's pointed out, before the development plan is approved, you generally take comments.
That's fine.
We just appreciate the opportunity to know when it's done, and Charlie can get that to us, I suppose, but we would like to be assured that we'll have that notice so we can have that understanding and comfort that it has been accomplished as has been planned.
Madam City Manager, do you see us being able to give them notice when that occurs? As a matter of staff.
The Community Development Director's in the room, and I think she's making note, and we'll make certain of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fowler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, it being a public hearing, we do need to give, availability of time to anyone with any new information. Please let us know if you're speaking either for or against, if you have an opinion in that area.
Cindy Welch, 3002 Concord Way, Douglasville. And I know Mr. Adams talked about the gas station that used to be where the car wash is, and they did come out on Durley, but at that point, they were making a right turn onto Durley for the light, and they'd either go right or left at 92. But this place, if those tankers come out onto Durley, they're going to be making a left to hit 92. So that's the only thing that I see. And I don't know if they're going to be able to go around the building and come out on 92 and make a right on 92, which would make it safer. But I just can't see them coming out on Durley. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Welch. Any others? I do believe that the plan was for them to be able to encircle the property with a tanker, so they would have opportunity to exit, I believe, on a right only out onto 92, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Mr. Tarwater?
We had planned for them to exit out onto Durley. At this point, we don't think there's proper, even with, if we got, every setback removed, for them to make it all the way down to 92 and then get a right out onto 92 from there.
So you would think that your 18-wheel truck would have to exit onto Durley?
At this point, that
Make
looks
a
like the
left
only
turn.
viable exit, yes.
So I believe the discussion then would be, the only difference is that the transfer truck leaving racetrack in years past would turn right out onto Durley rather than left.
That's correct, yes, given their orientation compared to where we
Yes,
are.
sir. Thank you. Other questions, comments? Is there anyone else that'd like to make a comment? Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll close that portion of the public hearing then. Do I have any other question or comment of council? Madam Mayor?
I'm just, my wheels are turning. I'm just thinking, trying to visualize how, I know the quick trip on Chapel Hill, there is a no turning to the right. Is that correct? And I was looking
No
at
turning to
Deputy
the
Chief,
left.
to the left. So Deputy Chief, if it were deemed by traffic or public safety, could we do the same thing?
It's possible. I don't know how they're going to, how far back it would be and them being able to make that turn on that two-lane road. At this point, I couldn't comment.
You have a divided highway with a raised median in the middle, so you can't
Okay.
make a left.
Okay. Okay.
Are you referring to the Chapel Hill side or the Timber Ridge side?
The Timber Ridge side.
Well, Timber Ridge is not divided yet. You cannot make a left, have one entrance, but you can go, there's a larger parking lot, there's a parking lot next door that you actually
Yes.
can drive into.
The
People make
medical
left-
place.
People make the left out of there. That's how people have that functions.
Okay. Yeah, but it was not on Chapel Hill Road. It was on the Timber Ridge Road, but I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Just trying to make it safe.
Every one of these locations are similar, but they're also very different in that I think the hope and the intention of, and this is my opinion, I haven't asked Mr. Tarwater this, but I would assume the hope and intention would be for them to get back to I-20 in the shortest fashion as far as how many turns they made and what direction they left the site in, but they cannot leave the site. I don't believe they're going to be allowed to leave the site and turn right onto Dearly Lane because that puts them into a residential area and the county bus barn with no truck area. Okay,
That's
so they
true.
have really one choice.
Yes, sir.
Others? Question, comment? Seeing none then, we'll move forward. I will make a motion on item 22-058 for approval.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 22-058. We've had some spirited discussion. Do we have any other comments or questions from council members? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 22-058 is unanimously approved with the conditions as read by the chairman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all that we have tonight under Planning and Development.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. We'll move on to Public Improvement and Beautification Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business this evening.
Thank you, Councilman Miller. We'll move on to Public Relations Committee, chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
We have no business this evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilman Estes. Public Safety Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have one item, and I'm going to start with item A. Adopt an ordinance to amend the City of Douglasville Fire Prevention and Protection Ordinance to authorize Douglas County Fire Department to enforce the standard fire prevention code and the life safety code to regulate open burning in the city and to specify the dimension of the building and access road required to firefighters' accessibility. Ms. Woodward, please.
Thank you, Councilman Davis. This item came before you on Thursday, and the only change that staff has made is based on Councilman Miller's feedback about Section 7, which you can see the change on page 17, that staff has clarified that it's existing buildings located in the historic district or any historic site that may be exempt from the sprinkler requirement.
Did everyone have any questions from the council, mayor and council about the change? If not, I'd like the motion to approve 22-090.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. It's been properly moved and second, moved by the chair of the committee, Councilman Davis, and second by Councilmember Adams to approve 22-090. Do we have any additional comments or questions, concerns? I would say that they're going to be, we just have to do some education, or we'll probably do it through social media to let citizens know that the fire department now, they'll have timeframes of burning leaves and all of that, and you could get a fine if you don't, if you go outside of that from the fire department, not from the city police or code enforcement, but by fire department. Okay. Not having any other concerns, all those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 22-090 is unanimously approved.
That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilman Davis. Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight. Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you, sir. Technology Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business at this time under the Technology Committee.
Thank you, sir. Transportation Committee, chaired by Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Danley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under transportation tonight.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Any other business to come before committees, I mean, not committees, but council tonight from council members? No? Okay. We'll go on then to updates from our city staff. Mr. Joel Dotson, our city attorney.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Our staff attorney, Ms. Lynn Woodward.
No business, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Our police department, Deputy Chief Sue Ann Shaw.
No business, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a, what's the name coming up? A jobs fair?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Monday, the 14th, from 10 to 2 at the police department. We're having a job fair for the citizens of the county, and I think we've got over 30 different businesses that will be out there recruiting. It's not just law enforcement, it's businesses from every type of business. So we hope if you're looking for a job, you'll join us.
Yes, ma'am. And it's going to be at the community center, I mean, what's it called? The municipal, what's the name of the building?
The Public Safety Municipal Complex.
There you
It's
go.
the
That
police
sounds
department,
good,
2083 Fairburn Road.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Deputy Chief. Yes, ma'am. The city manager, Ms. Marcia Hampton.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Really? Yeah. Surprising. Okay. Thank you, city manager. Comments from citizens and delegates. If you sustain the meeting and you'd like to speak to us, Please come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Really? Okay. We don't have any other takers. As Councilman Davis says, we don't have any other business, then this meeting is adjourned. Oh.